Welcome back to Buddy's Big Screen. I'm Buddy. If you aren't new here and you're subscribed and you're like, this guy hasn't posted in months, what is going on? Is he back? Is he not? What is happening? The answer is I don't know either, but we're going to be talking about Longlegs today, and I think that's the most important part of this conversation is, why is it the most diverse film of 2024? I think that's what I'm going to make the title. If it changes and the thumbnail changes, this is going to make no sense with the marketing of the film, which I think is actually the strongest part of the movie as a whole, is the marketing. I found it to be really genius because throughout its different trailers, posters, all the teasers, it basically is all about the fact that Nicolas Cage is the most hysterical, unhinged version of himself. And in interviews, he talked about how Oz Perkins, the director, gave him a very unique opportunity with this movie and a very interesting perspective and character to play, such as Longlegs. So throughout the marketing, there are different trailers where you have Micah Monroe, who is the lead FBI agent in the film, our main character who's tracking down this serial killer. They had a trailer with her, the actor, reacting to Nicolas Cage in the makeup for the first time. And you literally can see her heart rate going higher and higher and higher. And so that's just one aspect of the marketing that I really enjoyed. They also just strayed away from showing him the entire time. And any glimpse you got of Longlegs kind of resembled more of a real life serial killer. Like everything revolving around the movie felt very immersive in its marketing. And that's what led a lot of people to go see the movie, along with these heavy critic scores and just the word of mouth in general. People were nonstop saying this movie is just genre bending, incredible, just blows your mind crazy, and like one of the best horror movies of all time. Definitely one of the most unique horror movies of all time.
And kill again.
There she is.
And I want to sit here now and say, like, yes, I would agree with that. I think this is definitely a unique horror movie. However, when it comes to an actual movie, when I'm sitting here, right, and this is how excited I was. I need you guys to understand how exciting this was for me. Because if you are new here, I love talking about the importance of like video rental stores, physical media, like movies in general. They're like my favorite thing ever. And the theater experience is definitely like a video I want to make, is the importance of movie theaters. But try to work with me now while I tell this story. It's a random Saturday at 2 p.m. when I went to go see Longlegs. In my town, no one is at that movie theater. Like, at all. If it's not a Marvel movie or like a superhero movie, a Star Wars, no one's there. No one's there. It's 2 p.m. on a random Saturday. My theater was packed, full of people getting ready to watch Longlegs because of that marketing, because of that word of mouth, because of just everything that was not being told or shown about this story. And the fact that the movie has, I believe it's being reported as less than $10 million a budget, somewhere in that margin, and it has already made past $20 million. That's an insane ROI. Obviously, the budget, very friendly when horror movies, they mix well, okay? You can make cheap horror movies. But what was so amazing was just how many people were in this theater for like a low budget horror movie. That is awesome. That is incredible. So I'm sitting there and I'm watching the movie, and I'm loving the movie. I'm on the edge of my seat with my roommate as we're just engulfed by the story. It is very good. Micah Monroe is fantastic in this movie. Definitely an actor I'm going to be putting on my board as like anytime something's coming out with them, I want to check it out now because I found them to be very, very captivating in this film. Along with Nicolas Cage, I think it's definitely worth talking about here with how over the top Nicolas Cage is. What an incredible surprise. Did you ever imagine someone saying that Nicolas Cage is over the top and unhinged?
You scraping at the door? Scraping at the door!
Too late.
Fuck you!
It's like the character of Longlegs is just Nicolas Cage, but like times 2. And the makeup they use for Longlegs, it isn't the best thing I've ever seen in the world. There's reasons for your mind to be like, okay, maybe this is just how this person looks, but it's just like, it took me out of it for a minute when I actually saw the full makeup. I went, oh, okay, all right, sure. But I really think it's Nicolas Cage's performance that is just really solid. I'm really enjoying the Nicolas Cage renaissance. Like, over these last, 10 years, every Nicolas Cage project I've seen, I'm just, in love with, because he's just going to the extreme every single time. He's definitely a notable actor, one of the best we've ever had, at least in my generation and my lifetime. Nicolas Cage is that guy. But here's where the problem starts, right? This is where it starts to get more divisive. When the audience reviews started coming out, it's sitting at about a 60% right now, which is a heavier drop compared to what critics are saying. So we're having a bit more of a diverse thing of critics think this movie is incredible, wonderful. It's everything you want in an artsy-fartsy horror movie, which I don't think this is overly artsy-fartsy, but you get my point. And then you have people being like, no, this actually isn't as good. You guys overhyped this, whatever. I came out of the movie being like, okay. And I just told you guys that I'm on the edge of my seat 2/3 of the way into the movie. And then the final scene happens. And I'm not going to say what happens in the final scene. I'd rather you go form your own opinion and watch the movie. I'm not planning on spoiling things for you. But when the movie decides to roll credits, it completely took me out. It completely took me out of everything that I just saw. It really felt like the movie was building up to something. We were going to get a payoff to that something. And the movie was going to be very well fleshed out, full circle, awesome. And it doesn't go anywhere. We don't get a conclusion. That's the biggest spoiler I have, is there is no definitive end other than the credits rolling. I also don't think this movie is going to be one of those horror movies you go home and have nightmares about. I'm a very anxious person. I have nightmares almost over anything and everything, okay? I'm always looking over my shoulder after a horror movie. That didn't happen this time around. Not at all. Absolutely not. It's actually super silly and goofy, and I love the eeriness and the filmmaking, the cinematography, the direction, performances, all of that is super stellar. Let's not get that twisted. It's all incredible. But the story, the thing that's supposed to, be the through line for all of this, the marketing's awesome, the performances are awesome, the filmmaking's awesome, but the story is not complete. A lot of people like to overestimate how long scripts should be. An average one's 120 pages. I don't know how many pages Longlegs was, but you needed at least 4 more pages, 3 more pages, because the way the film leaves off is here, and you've got at least that much more before things can really wrap up. So while this film is very impressive for 2/3 of it, I'm going to see a bunch of different reviewers talk about how this is their most anticipated movie of the year and how it hit all of their expectations. For those people, I'm really happy to hear that. If you're one of those people who watched Longlegs and you're like, what is this bald-headed guy talking about? Most diverse film of 2024. What are you talking about, man? It's incredible. I'm with you. I think the movie's great. I understand that. I respect that opinion. But I'm here. I love film. I love horror. And as amazing it was to see so many people in a movie theater on a random Saturday, I couldn't help but just go, man, this movie really fell flat. It fell flat in the end. I don't know if a rewatch is going to do any better for me, but I was sadly disappointed by Longlegs. So what do I do moving forward? How do we move forward? What's the point of this video? What are we talking about? I think the important takeaways, right, is marketing. Marketing is super important to your movies. Hollywood, check this out. If you take a low budget movie and give it awesome marketing, people will show up. That's incredible. The fact that so many people were in a movie theater to see this low budget horror movie is incredible. The direction, Oz Perkins, going places, absolutely going places. You're going to be at the top of the list for a lot of people when it comes to up and coming horror movies. And Micah Monroe, absolutely phenomenal performance, definitely going places. I know they're in a couple other movies, but now it's they're on my radar. They're on a lot of other people's radar. Fantastic performance through and through. The filmmaking in general, the practices put into place here, all good stuff. But the story, it just didn't quite come together. So this film is not the best movie I've seen in 2024. I don't know if it's going to be the best horror movie of 2024 because we have so many more coming up. let me try to get Annie's opinion here. If you're new here, this is Annie. This is my kitty cat. What did you think of Longlegs? Yeah, okay, that's fair. I would say that Annie definitely had some different expectations for the film as well, and they just didn't quite hit for her either. But no, I think it's important to at least recognize the importance of movie theaters and how awesome this is. Let's not just take this like story that didn't fully work for me as like, okay, let's write the film off in general. I think the film is very important to recognize and talk about, and that's why I'm talking about it. It's been months since I've made a YouTube video. This film has made an impact on me so much that I've been motivated to make a video. Let's not get it twisted that I'm like a hater on this film. It's just, I'd advise you guys to go check this one out on your own. I think it's definitely worth watching in theaters and form your own opinion, because maybe you'll watch the movie and completely disagree with me and then come back to this video and comment about how the bald bastard just got it all wrong. And that would be totally fine. I want a conversation down below. Let me know your feelings and your thoughts about Longlegs. I'm definitely interested to hear about it. And then, I don't know, guys, maybe you'll hear from me, maybe you won't. I don't know what I'm doing anymore, so we'll find out in the future together. Maybe subscribe just in case. Goodbye.